What is going on, you stallions and stallionettes? AK40 Kevin here in the gamer heaven. A Vietnamese PC modder has made a water-cooled PS5 that is quieter, sleeker, smaller, cooler, not just cool like damn that's sweet, but cooler as in runs cooler than the stock PS5, and does plan on making these readily available for purchase to the public. Let's talk about it. Alrighty guys, sharing my screen over here. This article just came out yesterday. There is a video we are going to be watching. I will have the sound muted because I do not own the copyrights. He personally purchased the single-use trademarks for the songs in here, which they are absolute dank bangers. I will have linked in the description below this article, as well as the actual video demo itself. There's a helicopter flying by. One of the Warzone boys is getting ready to drop in on my house, so I'll be back in just a second. Old crazy Jojo broke out of prison again. Alright, so Vietnamese hardware modder has built a custom water-cooled PS5 console and suggests he will soon make it available to buy. So first of all, I do not know if it's going to be a modification service where you send in your existing PS5 unit and then he will modify your existing console, or if he is just going to source PS5s, which right now would be extremely difficult with the scarcity of these consoles, as fresh Sony stock generally gets directly into the greasy palms of scalpers with their bots and scripts. So but once he's become more readily available, this dude's business model will definitely flourish. I do think in the meantime, if he were to have customers send in their existing PS5s, digital only and optical drive versions, and perform these modifications to them, which by the way are super in depth. It's not like he just slapped a water block on here. There is custom 3D printed parts. There is custom aluminum heat sinks that are etched with PlayStation face buttons. It looks so sick. When we played the demo, I literally had a sore back from bending over to scoop my jaw up off the floor. After watching this demo here, my credit score went up 50 points, my wife stopped cheating on me, my dog came back from the dead, and I got a solid 3 inches on my peen, so you definitely want to hop on those benefits. So custom PC creator Sephiroth, I know I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, I think it's Nhenhophach, built the console over 2 months. So this is his first prototype. Obviously, that one is going to take substantially longer because you have to do R&D with each one of the components that you're creating, whether you're using 3D printed plastic parts or you're using aluminum parts that are cut and molded in some kind of a laser etching or water jet machine. Now, in case you guys just stumbled upon this video and you don't know about my background or anything, I do have a small business building custom controllers and PC peripherals, pictures on screen here. So I have a little bit of an entrepreneurial small business background, so I can definitely understand that this guy has the market cornered. There is currently no other custom PC makers out there. There's a company like D-Brand that makes custom side plates that you pop off your covers off the side of your PS5, but this is completely different. This is a full water block design, and if he is the first one to either patent this design or just say screw the trademarking and jump into creating these, making these readily available, PS5 owners will pay for it. If you can afford to get a $500 console, which is very expensive, your finances are probably in order to where you can pay an additional $200 to $300 to get a one-off custom high-performance water-cooled version. Now, I might be speculating here. I don't know your finances. I haven't broken into your house and taken a peek in your wallet or like sniffed inside your wife's purse and then dipped out the back window. I'm just assuming if you can buy a $500 console comfortably, you can probably buy a water-cooled custom one. So how the console's actually smaller is the fact that it's ditching air cooling, which will also make it quieter. Generally, water cooling generally is a little bit more efficient, it's quieter, and it's smaller because you don't have physical fans in there, and that's definitely the case with Sony's PS5, as it does have a 120mm cooling fan, just one, and this is from Sony's thermal design boss, Yoshiro Oturi, who made a statement last year saying the PS5 could be smaller in size if Sony had opted for using 2 smaller fans instead of 1 larger fan on each side of the machine. However, the reasoning behind not doing that is that controlling multiple fans would be more difficult than the current single fan design, and also have increased manufacturing costs of the hardware. I don't know if I'd buy any shares of that stock there, boys. Controlling 2 fans vice 1 is not that big of a deal. As long as they have 1 fan cooler, they could run a splitter, or they could just run directly off of the, or they could just run it directly off the GPIO fans on the Mobo. So granted, I mean, a PS5 doesn't have a specific, like a MOBO, like a motherboard. It's an APU, which is a CPU and a GPU, basically all the components in one enough jaw jacking. You're going to see it in this video here. They do a full disassembly. I mean, that might be true. I'm not calling the Sony developers and the R&D team a liar, but I do think that 2 smaller millimeter fans vice 1 large one wouldn't be that bigger. That wouldn't be much more expensive. So they do run thermal tests in a portion of the video, and while the designer says there's no way to measure precisely the temperature of the APU core of the PS5 and memory chips, testing was done in a manner that takes lots of time playing. He explained, and you'll see, you know, he has a time lapse. He's playing Astro's Playroom for like hours, and in an attempt to heat up the APU, obviously, because there is no like dedicated benchmarks. It's not like a PC where you can run a GPU or CPU specific benchmark and just step back and be like, yep, those are my numbers. That's my average frame per second, my highest, my lowest. This was my highest CPU temperature. This was the voltage, blah, blah, blah. It's not clear how the modder intends to make the custom hardware available to purchase, though he's encouraged interest commenters to contact him via direct message or email. So he is interested in producing these. This isn't just a one-off that he's for his personal use. He definitely wants to sell these, you can tell. So if you look at some of these pictures here, it has like a 3D printed holster for the DualSense 5 controller. Oh, baby girl. The water block itself has a PlayStation retro logo etched in on it. These aluminum laser cut front flaps here with the cross buttons in them looks so sick. And the fact that this adds performance. Now, how it adds performance, for one, this thing will never throttle. 2, if there ever is any software made readily available or even illicitly available, maybe, you know, some software Sony doesn't want you to run, but you can run a script on your PS5 to overclock it, you could squeeze a few extra percent out of your APU, your GPU and CPU, and probably overclock your RAM as well. But look at this. I mean, all the components, like even the ones that you'll hardly ever see inside the case, I mean, that attention to detail there, this is a beautiful build, to be honest. I mean, and the build quality too. Most of these parts are aluminum stock here with like hex screws in them. That looks durable to me. It doesn't look like all the plastic components of the PS5. And just sitting next to it, this looks incredibly cheap. You can tell, you know, the cheap plastics on the center here. Sitting next to a stock PS5, this looks incredibly cheap in comparison to this, which has a primarily metal build. It has a illuminated, RGB illuminated water block. I mean, this looks more premium, and it is. Now, again, like I said, I do have the sound cut off. But I will vouch for the fact that they have some absolute dank banger tracks playing right now. I will have this linked in the description below. I'm going to skip through parts here, but they have, you know, a really kick-ass montage with good music of them disassembling the PS5, which is also a good portion of the video to watch if you do want to take your PS5 apart to customize it yourself, or something breaks and you're out of warranty. Granted, none of you guys should be out of warranty yet, but you're out of warranty and Sony's just being a big old blue cockbag and will not honor your warranty. So you got some cooling fans in here. You have a couple of heat pipes. There's your CPU, it looks like, underneath this tie down. Yep, that's a CPU. There's the thermal paste for it looks like. Yep, okay, so he's cleaning off the stock thermal paste with the alcohol pad. Oh, he almost ruined his desk. That sucks. I want that shirt, too. That's pretty dope. I ain't gonna lie. He also has a very similar class ring to the one I have. It looks almost identical. In fact, I need to go check my drawer to make sure he didn't steal mine. It like looks the same. Same color stone, same graphics on the side, everything. So this is the actual water block over here. They're going to be sandwiching the CPU in there, obviously with thermal paste. So there's also timestamps in this video, so you can skip to, you know, the water block, water cooling loop, case and wiring, the thermal test, and then, you know, your glamour shots and your photos back here. Just, would you look at it? Would you look at it? Just wait. Wait till the lights are off and there's the low light shots. Oh my god, it looks... Oh, fuck. That looks so dope to me. Like, he did a phenomenal job with this build, I have to say. Everything looks clean and classy, but yet also flashy. You know what I mean? Like, look at that. Just the cross buttons bleeding light through there, that it looks so much better than a stock PS5. It really does. And I also like the fact that you can put your, you know, second DualSense 5 controller on that little dock in the front. That's kind of cool. Nice little attention to detail there. And then, of course, he runs his thermal tests here, which, as you see, he's just playing Astro's Playroom for like hours, which you could easily play that game for hours. It is super fun. I actually just uploaded a video review of that game. That's linked in the description below. Definitely check that game out. It's free. It's already pre-installed on your PS5. So it looks like these are his final results here. As you see, he also has some thermal imaging here, so you can actually see where the heat's coming from, which is awesome. So right here, 130 degrees Fahrenheit, that is 54.4 degrees Celsius, which is incredibly low and acceptable. I know that looks high, oh, 130, but like my 3090, or I'm sorry, my 3080 and my R11 over here, at idle is at about 45 to 50 degrees Celsius, and under load it gets up to about 160, 170 degrees Fahrenheit, which, by the way, before you're like, wow, that's hot, that's actually completely normal. I've read a bunch of articles from PC Mag and stuff, and that's completely normal. But yeah, so these are really good temperatures, 130 degrees Fahrenheit, and the way he designed it too is actually quite clever. When fully assembled, the fan blows from radiator to the backplate, and then the fan pulls air from the backplate to the radiator. So it's a really clever design how he did this. So I gotta say, after watching that, I mean, this is smaller, it's quieter, it cools better, and it looks badass, which means this guy can charge just about anything he wants because he has the market cornered. He's the only one currently doing this. Now, when more companies come out and start doing this, start patenting ideas, the price will fluctuate because they're trying to find a market balance where basically everyone is similarly priced to their competitors. Now, the only thing we really can do here would be to speculate on the price, in which I would have to say, if you're sitting in your own PS5, this is probably going to be at least $200, because think about it, the materials, I mean, if you were to do this yourself, this build yourself, you have to get a radiator, a water block, a pump, and then all those 3D printed parts and all those aluminum parts, those metal aluminum parts that were custom engraved and whatnot. You know, 200, that's incredible. It probably won't be that low. To be honest, it's probably going to be almost the price of the console. But if money isn't an object and you just want the dopest console in your entertainment center, like you want people to come over for a barbecue and literally panties are on the floor, you have to collect them at the end of the get-together because there's literally just undergarments all over your floor because they saw your console. If you want to literally be grabbing a mop because there's drool all over the floor, if you want people's nipples to literally slice through their t-shirts when they see your console, I mean, this is probably the route you want to take. It's going to be very expensive, but, you know, just buy 3 PS5s and scalp 2 of them to buy this thing. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. I don't support scalpers on this channel. You boys know how I feel about scalpers on this channel. I think they got that shrimp thing swanging. All right, well, that's going to do it, boys. If this video was entertaining and informative for you guys, liking the video helps it to get seen by more people, helps me to grow my baby dick channel, which I definitely do appreciate. Subscribe for more content like this. I cover a lot of news in the gaming community and industry, as well as a lot of tutorials helping you guys get set up streaming and YouTubing. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.